This video is going to show you how to set up the occupancy monitoring application, version 1.1.
This is assuming the application has already been installed here on the Open Platform page, as well as the people counting set up on the statistics page. So you can hit the Go App button to launch the web page for the application. We have two sections. We have camera and HTTP devices. We're going to start in the camera section. First, we have the master camera. We have to put in the username and password for this camera. If it's the same password and you have multiple cameras, you can check this box at the top here. You then select the rule. Do you have one occupancy monitoring or one people counting rule on this camera, or two? And you would continue that for each of the cameras. You then hit the connection test button to make sure that the username and password and connectivity and all that is correct. Then we have an update interval. How often should the application check the people counting statistics for updates? Alarm input and output. Alarm input allows you to reset the count via a physical switch. Alarm output allows you to trigger a device whenever the count either goes over or under or both, and it stays that way for more than a set amount of time. And then same thing, we have an email activation where we can have email notifications sent out. If you're using alarm input, output, or email, you need to configure the settings on the master camera in the camera's webpage first for alarm input, output, or email to get that configured and up and running. Then we can come down here to the basic setup, and we're going to set how many people can this camera what are they looking for the occupancy limit. So if I put in 10 people, for example, then when the count goes above 10 or gets to 10, it will then tell you to wait until someone leaves. We can have a reset time. We could say if the store opens at 8 a.m., I might say at 7:59, reset the count. If this is a facility that's open 24/7, we now have the ability to disable that count reset if you don't want it. You could also do it at midnight or however you want to use it based on your operations. Again, the reset count will set the counter to 0 and then start counting new. So some applications you want it, some you don't. And then down here we can say, well, when the count is reset, what does it go to? Maybe I know that my store has 10 employees in it, and I'm counting to 100 people, so I want to reset the count at 7:59 down to the 10 people, for example. And then we have the edit display. This brings up a new page, and it is click and drag, and you can modify where things are. You can change things like the font size. You can change bold and under and the you can change the bold and the color of the fonts. You can hide individual elements if you don't want to see them, and then you can just click and type in things like that. You can show the current count or the remaining count depending on how you want it to be. And we have two separate pages. We have the under and over, so you can customize each one independently. And before you start configuring everything, you can choose landscape or portrait mode, and when you change that, it resets the display. So make sure you set that first. If you make a mistake and you move things all over, you can hit the reset button on the top right, and that will put it back to default. We can change, so the title, this is the title here. We have the count. We have the occupancy limit message is here. And if you don't know what something is, you can click on the button, the eyeball, to show or hide. So we have the occupancy limit message over here. We have our warning, which can be animated. It'll be animated on the PC browser interface. And so we could say here, please wear a face mask while in the store. You can also upload a logo. And so you would click this button to show, and you'll see it's actually hiding down here. If you want, you can also click this a button over here, and this lets you browse to a new file. And so we can choose a logo that we might want, a store logo. You can then adjust the size and shape of it, and the positioning, and all of that. You can also change the background for a picture. So if you didn't want the white background, you can go and choose that. I'm going to put the background back to white. And then we can also have a background image here. So again, I select the item on the right, then I click the graphic icon. And then you can have a background that's behind the whole image. Or just use it as another image and you can adjust it and move it around. If you want to change the file, just click the image button again and browse to a different file that you might want. And then once everything is the way you want it, we can then go over to the over page, what it should display when there's too many people in the building. You'll see we do have this variable here, $count. That's a text variable, so you can adjust that as you want. Once everything is the way you want it, you can hit the preview button to kind of see what it will look like. You can hit the escape key on the keyboard to back out, and then hit save when you're all done. And then that will take you back to the settings page.
To learn more about this and other exciting Hanwha products, subscribe to our YouTube channel or visit us at hanwhasecurity.com.
you.